Have you ever wondered why the job market in India seems different from the developed economies? It's a question that many of us have pondered, especially as we navigate the complexities of our professional lives. Let's take a moment to discuss the general perception of the job market in India compared to, say, the United States or Europe. Now, every country has its own unique set of challenges and opportunities when it comes to employment. But in India, there's a distinctive element that sets it apart: the scarcity of what we might call elite jobs. You see, in India, there are very few positions that fall into this category. Think roles like those in the Indian Administrative Service or at esteemed institutions such as ISRO, DRDO, IIT, or IIM. Now, compare this to the US or Europe, where high-paying jobs in domains like investment banking or AI and machine learning research are relatively more abundant. In India, while sectors like marketing and tech offer competitive compensation, they don't exactly provide the excessively high remuneration that some ambitious graduates might be seeking. And when it comes to the big players in technology like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, or Tesla, the majority of their cutting-edge jobs don't usually make their way to India. Now, this doesn't mean that India doesn't have its fair share of opportunities. There are sectors that absorb a large chunk of graduates, such as automotives, textiles, services, and retail. But the reality is, a fraction of those jobs are considered attractive. Indian multinational corporations offer a decent number of positions for moderately high-end technologies. And then there are startups which, while promising, carry their own risks, with a significant percentage likely to fail in a couple of years. And let's not forget the management consulting market. Despite the presence of firms like McKinsey, the size of this market in India is minuscule compared to the US. So why does this disparity exist? Let's delve deeper. Let's consider the elite jobs in India and their counterparts in developed economies. Picture this: you've just graduated from one of India's top-tier institutions. You're ambitious, you're driven, and you're eager to make your mark. But the landscape ahead of you may seem a bit limited. You see, in India, the number of highly coveted jobs, such as those in the Indian Administrative Service or in leading research institutions like ISRO, DRDO, IIT, or IIM, are few and far between. On the other hand, if we gaze across the waters to the United States or European countries, the prospects seem to multiply. High-paying roles in fields like investment banking or AI and machine learning research are more abundant. Now, don't get me wrong. India is not without its fair share of competitive roles. Fields such as marketing and technology offer good compensation, especially in sectors like IT and finance. But when we talk about cutting-edge technology jobs at giants like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, or Tesla, these tend not to be shifted to India. Just think about it. Each of these companies is as massive as a country. Their scale is mind-boggling, and yet research and development, a crucial component of these businesses, is not one of our strong suits. Sure, we have some investment in R&D at IITs and IISc, but is it enough? The hard truth is that a large chunk of our graduates end up in sectors like automotives, textiles, services, and retail. Even in pharma and healthcare, most of the work involves contract research for minuscule processes. And let's not even get started on the quality concerns. But it's not all doom and gloom. Indian MNCs offer moderately high-end technology roles. And then there are startups, consultancies, and even boutique firms. But the fact remains that the size of the top-tier management consulting market in India is minuscule compared to the US. The opportunities seem to be skewed, don't they? But why is that? Let's turn our attention to the tech and marketing sector, a popular choice for many graduates. In India, marketing and tech offer graduates competitive compensation, though not excessively high when compared to IT and finance sectors in developed economies. When it comes to high-end technology jobs, India often misses out on the frontline positions. For instance, cutting-edge roles at Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, and Tesla rarely relocate to India. These tech giants are as expansive as nations themselves, operating on a scale that's challenging to match. The lack of industry-funded research jobs from the entry level upwards is another area where India lags behind. In contrast, the US and European countries offer a plethora of high-paying positions in fields like investment banking, AI, and machine learning research. In India, the majority of our numerous graduates find employment in sectors such as automotives, textiles, services, and retail. R&D, although an important sector, isn't a significant investment outside of institutions such as IITs and IISc. Most R&D in pharma and healthcare are contract research for a minuscule process, and the quality of these processes has become a major concern. Indian multinational corporations provide the largest employment for moderately high-end technologies, leaving startups as another viable option. However, the harsh reality is that 95% of startups are likely to fail within the first few years. Despite these challenges, Indian managers and leaders are highly respected on a global scale. The issue lies not in the talent or capabilities of Indian professionals, but rather in the sizable market gap between India and countries like the US. For instance, consider the management consulting market. In the US, this market is at least 30 times larger than in India. Many experienced professionals like Saurabh Mukherjee have resorted to setting up boutique consultancies. The imbalance is clear, but what about other sectors? How about the research and development sector? Surely there must be opportunities there. Let's delve into it. Research and development, the cradle of innovation, plays a critical role in shaping economies. But here's the catch. In India, R&D is not the most invested sector, unlike in developed economies such as the US or Europe. Take a moment to consider this. India's top-notch institutions, like the Indian Institutes of Technology and the Indian Institute of Science, are among the few places where R&D receives substantial attention. Beyond these academic bastions, R&D investments are scant. This is in stark contrast to countries like the US, where corporate giants like Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, and Tesla invest heavily in R&D, driving innovation and creating high-end jobs. Now let's talk about sectors absorbing a majority of Indian graduates. Automotives, textiles, services, and retail. These are the industry behemoths that soak up the largest chunk of our graduate pool. But what about R&D in these sectors? Unfortunately, it's mostly contract research, a minuscule process that doesn't always promise attractive job roles. And then there's the question of quality. The quality of these processes has become a major concern in recent times. This is not to undermine the efforts of the Indian workforce, but to highlight the need for a more robust, quality-focused, and investment-rich R&D environment. How about the pharma and healthcare sectors, you might ask? Well, unfortunately, the story isn't much different there. Most R&D roles in these sectors are contract-based, with quality concerns persisting. Now, don't get me wrong. There are attractive jobs in R&D in India, but they are a fraction of the whole. Indian multinational corporations do offer opportunities in moderately high-end technologies, but these are not the cutting-edge roles that many ambitious graduates aspire to. In a nutshell, the R&D sector in India, while not devoid of opportunities, faces its own set of challenges, from inadequate investment to quality concerns. It's not all gloom and doom, however. There's always room for growth and improvement, and perhaps, with concerted efforts and strategic investments, the Indian R&D landscape can transform for the better. The R&D sector seems to be facing its own challenges, but what about the startup scene? The startup culture in India is booming, isn't it? But is it all rosy? Let's take a moment to peel back the curtain on the startup scene in India. The excitement is palpable, the enthusiasm is infectious, and the innovation is inspiring. But there's a sobering reality that often goes unspoken. The harsh truth is that a whopping 95% of startups are likely to fail within a couple of years. Why, you might wonder? Various factors contribute to this high failure rate. Startups often struggle with securing adequate funding, navigating regulatory hurdles, and breaking into saturated markets. They also grapple with the challenge of finding the right talent to drive their vision forward. What about venture capital opportunities? The VC landscape in India is undoubtedly growing, but it's still in its nascent stages compared to developed economies. The number of VC jobs available in India is relatively fewer. This is primarily because the VC industry in India is still evolving, and the investment ecosystem is not as mature as in countries like the United States. Venture capitalists in India also face unique challenges. The investment risks are higher due to the volatile nature of the market. There's also the issue of regulatory uncertainty, which can make the investment process more complex and risky. But it's not all doom and gloom. Despite these challenges, the startup and VC culture in India is showing signs of promise. More and more entrepreneurs are stepping up to the plate, ready to take on these challenges head-on. They're armed with innovative ideas and the determination to make a difference. So, where does that leave us? It's clear that the startup culture in India, while brimming with potential, has its own set of hurdles to overcome. The same goes for the VC scene, but these challenges aren't insurmountable. With the right strategies, support, and resilience, it's possible to navigate this complex landscape and come out on top. The startup culture seems to have its own set of challenges. So, what's the way forward? The answer lies in resilience, innovation, and the will to transform challenges into opportunities. Because when it comes to startups and VCs, the game is as much about survival as it is about success. Let's consider the management consulting market, a popular choice for many. In India, management consulting is perceived as a golden ticket to success, a pathway to professional growth and lucrative compensation. However, the reality is not as rosy as it appears. Compared to developed economies, the size of the management consulting market in India is significantly smaller. For instance, the United States, a hub for many global consulting firms, boasts a management consulting market that's at least 30 times larger than India's. This disparity is not just in numbers, but also in the breadth and depth of opportunities available. In India, the consulting market is concentrated within a few large multinational companies and boutique consultancies. The latter, often set up by returning seniors like Saurabh Mukherjee and others, cater to a niche clientele. However, setting up such boutique consultancies is not without its challenges. It requires significant capital, a robust network, and deep industry knowledge. Not to mention, the competition with established players can be daunting. Moreover, the limited size of the market implies fewer job opportunities. This means intense competition for available roles, often leading to a stressful work environment. Furthermore, the smaller market size can also mean less diverse project opportunities, potentially limiting the learning and growth of consultants. Additionally, the management consulting market in India is also grappling with other challenges. These include talent retention, evolving client expectations, and the need to constantly innovate in a rapidly changing business environment. These factors make the task of carving a successful career in management consulting in India a challenging one. Despite these challenges, the Indian management consulting market has potential. The country's robust economic growth, coupled with the increasing need for businesses to navigate complex challenges, can fuel the growth of this sector. However, it's crucial for both aspiring consultants and consulting firms to be aware of the realities and prepare accordingly. The management consulting market, too, seems to have its own set of challenges. Let's wrap this up. So, we've seen the challenges in various sectors. But is there a way to bridge the gap? The job market, like any market, evolves with time. In this evolution, certain areas show more promise than others. These potential areas of growth are where future graduates can focus their attention. For instance, the tech sector, despite its current limitations, is a promising field. With companies in India increasingly adopting digital technologies, there's a growing demand for professionals skilled in AI, machine learning, data science, and other cutting-edge technologies. The startup culture in India is also burgeoning, offering a plethora of opportunities for innovative minds. Yes, there's a high failure rate, but that's a universal truth in the startup world. What's important is the experience, the skills, and the network you build along the way, which could be invaluable in your professional journey. Further, the value of Indian managers and leaders in the global market cannot be overstated. Known for their adaptability, resilience, and strategic thinking, they are highly sought after in international corporations. This is a testament to the quality of leadership and management education in India. However, it's important to acknowledge the elephant in the room, the market size gap between India and developed economies like the US. This gap is significant and poses a challenge for professionals seeking high-end jobs in India. But remember, every challenge presents an opportunity. For instance, the smaller market size could mean less competition and more chances to stand out. Plus, with the world becoming more interconnected, the concept of work is evolving. Remote work and global collaborations are blurring geographical boundaries, opening up a world of opportunities. The job market in India has its challenges, but with the right approach, there is potential for growth and development. Remember, every market has its unique dynamics, and understanding them is the key to unlocking your potential. The future is not set in stone. It's shaped by those willing to adapt, innovate, and persevere. So keep learning, stay adaptable, and forge your own path in this ever-evolving job market.